Have you ever looked at your favorite pair of pants, the ones you wore all the time a few years ago, and thought, they used to fit just fine? You're not alone. Many of us after 60 find that our bodies begin to shift in ways we didn't expect. The pounds don't just sneak up, they settle in, and the old tricks that used to work, they don't seem to do much anymore. But here's the truth, no one tells us loudly enough. You don't need to starve yourself or sign up for a gym membership to lose a little extra weight after 60. Sometimes it's not about what you add, but what you let go of. Today we're going to talk about 8 things you might want to consider giving up, not as punishment, but as small, loving steps toward a body that feels stronger, lighter, and more energized. So grab your favorite cup of tea or coffee, settle into your chair, and let's have a little heart-to-heart. This isn't about being perfect. This is about feeling good in your skin, waking up with more energy, and knowing that your best days aren't behind you, they're right in front of you. Let's start with something simple. If you've got a set of car keys near you, picture them in your hand. Now imagine setting them down. That's right. The very first habit to consider letting go of is using your car for every little thing. Now, I'm not saying sell your car or give up driving completely. Of course not. But try this. Next time you go to the grocery store, could you walk instead of drive? Or maybe park a little farther away and use the walk as a mini workout. You'd be amazed how much that extra movement adds up. Walking is gentle, it's free, and it's one of the most natural things our bodies were made to do. And every step you take is a quiet reminder to your body that you're still moving forward, literally and figuratively. But I know what you're thinking. What difference does a short walk make? Here's the secret. It's not about burning a massive number of calories. It's about shifting your mindset. Choosing movement, even in small doses, sends a message to your body. I care about you. I want to keep you strong. And that mindset shift is far more powerful than any treadmill. Now let's take a walk into the kitchen for a moment. Open your cupboard and pull out your favorite dinner plate. Go ahead, look at the size of it. Most of us grew up in a time when clearing your plate was considered good manners. Don't waste food, they'd say. So naturally, when the plate is big, we tend to fill it up and finish every bite. But here's the thing, we're not living in the same era anymore, and our bodies have different needs now. That full-size plate is quietly working against us. One simple trick that truly makes a difference: swap your big dinner plate for a smaller one, something like a salad or dessert plate. You'll be amazed at how satisfied you feel with less food, simply because your brain sees a full plate. I have a little plate I found at a second-hand shop. A beautiful floral pattern. Nothing fancy, but every time I use it, I feel like I'm giving myself a small gift. And my portions, naturally smaller. No effort, no willpower, just a gentler container. Here's the beauty of this shift. It's not about restricting or depriving. It's about honoring your hunger and learning to listen to your body. At our age, digestion slows, metabolism shifts, and portion control becomes a quiet act of self-respect. Smaller plates remind us that enough really is enough. Now, while we're in the kitchen, or maybe sitting back in the living room, take a moment to think about your TV. How many hours a day do you spend in front of it? Don't worry, there's no judgment here. I used to love curling up on the couch after dinner and letting the hours drift by with a good movie or 2 or 5. But one day I realized something. It wasn't just the shows that were keeping me on the couch, it was the habit. And habits, as we know, can either serve us or slowly drain us. So here's a thought, maybe don't toss the TV completely. But consider limiting your time with it. Instead of 4 hours, what if it were 2? Instead of using it to fill the silence, what if you replaced 1 hour with a short walk, a light stretch, or even just standing and folding laundry? You'll be surprised how much energy you get back when you're not glued to a screen all day. And remember, it's not about giving up joy, it's about finding it in new places. Sometimes we spend so much time sitting that we forget what it feels like to be in motion. And motion doesn't have to mean exercise in the traditional sense. It can be gardening, dancing in the kitchen to your favorite oldies, or taking your grandchild to the park and strolling beside them as they explore. Movement is medicine, and every time you choose it, you're choosing longevity. Let's talk about something a little more fashionable. Think about your shoes for a moment. Are they high, narrow, and best reserved for formal dinners? I know how tempting it can be to hang on to those lovely pairs of heels. They make us feel elegant, put together. But if you're serious about staying active and light on your feet, it might be time to tuck those high heels away and bring out something more practical. I used to struggle with this one. There's something symbolic about giving up our heeled shoes. It can feel like letting go of a younger version of ourselves. But when I found a pair of walking shoes that made me feel like I was gliding instead of clomping, something shifted. I didn't feel older. I felt freer, more grounded, more me. Comfort doesn't mean giving up on looking good. It just means putting your health first. The more comfortable your feet, the more likely you are to get up and go. And honestly, there's something deeply beautiful about a woman walking with confidence at any age, in shoes that truly support her journey. You see these changes, letting go of the car, the oversized plates, the hours in front of a screen, or even just uncomfortable shoes. They may sound small, but each one is a whisper to your body saying, I'm paying attention, I'm not giving up on you. I want you to feel good, to move with ease, to enjoy this stage of life with a sense of lightness, both physically and emotionally. And if you're wondering whether these changes will actually make a difference, let me assure you they do. I've seen it in myself. I've seen it in friends who finally ditched the extra serving spoon, or who chose to walk to the post office instead of drive. It's not magic, it's momentum, and once you start building it, one habit at a time, the results speak for themselves. Now let's keep this conversation going. There are still more habits we can gently set aside to make room for energy, vitality, and well-being in our 60s and beyond. So take a deep breath, maybe take a little stretch in your chair, and let's keep going. Sometimes, the most powerful changes don't happen in the gym or the doctor's office. They happen in the grocery store, often right in front of those big flashy signs that say buy one get one free. You've seen them, we all have. A giant box of cookies, a second one for free, 2 for 1 on cakes or sweet treats. It feels like a good deal, doesn't it? But here's the quiet truth that nobody tells us. Those deals aren't for your benefit. They're for the stores. They know the more food you take home, the more likely you are to eat it. And after 60, that kind of abundance isn't always our friend. There was a time when I'd get excited about those sales. Who doesn't like a bargain? But I started to notice something. When I bought 2 boxes, I didn't eat one and save the other for later. I ate both. Not all at once, of course, but gradually, maybe a little here, a little there. But those little bites added up, and before I knew it, I felt sluggish, heavy, and frustrated. The joy of the deal disappeared pretty quickly after that. So here's something I started doing that really helped. I made a deal with myself instead. Instead of buying 2 of something, I'd buy 1, just 1, but I'd choose something I really loved. 1 small bar of dark chocolate. 1 beautiful pastry from the bakery, and I'd make a moment of it. A proper cup of tea, a quiet seat by the window, and just savoring that treat. No guilt, no mindless munching, just 1 intentional, pleasurable moment. There's something deeply satisfying about reclaiming control over what enters your home, and more importantly, what enters your body. And when you shop with mindfulness, not marketing, you begin to feel stronger. You start seeing food as nourishment and joy, not a reward or escape. Speaking of what enters your home, let's take a little walk to the closet, shall we? Open it up and take a look at your favorite clothes. the ones you actually wear every day. Are they loose, stretchy, maybe a little too forgiving? Now don't get me wrong, comfort is important. After all, no one wants to squeeze into something tight just to make a point. But here's the subtle danger: with always choosing the most forgiving clothes, you stop noticing the changes in your body. Baggy pants don't remind you when your waistline is growing. Oversized sweaters don't nudge you to sit up a little straighter or hold your core. And when we stop noticing, it becomes easier to let go of the habits that keep us strong and balanced. I'm not suggesting you toss out all your comfy clothes. Heavens, no. But try this. Pick one item, maybe a fitted jacket, a nice pair of jeans that sit just right, and wear it more often. Not to criticize yourself, but to reconnect with how your body feels. It's not about shame or pressure, it's about awareness. Sometimes just feeling the waistband of a skirt a little tighter than usual is enough to gently remind us, maybe I'll go for a salad instead of the extra bread tonight. And it works both ways. When you start to make changes, even small ones, and suddenly those pants feel a little looser, it's incredibly encouraging. That little signal from your clothing becomes a celebration, a quiet pat on the back. You start to realize, yes, I'm doing something good for myself. Now let's talk about something that's a bit sneaky, because it often shows up when we're not hungry at all. I'm talking about snacks. Not meals, not special treats, just those casual, I'll just have a little something while I'm watching the news kind of bites. A few crackers here, a piece of cheese there, a handful of nuts, a little nibble while you're standing in the kitchen. You may not even remember half of them by the end of the day. I know this one personally. After dinner, I'd sit down with a book or my laptop, and without even thinking, I'd pour a few salty snacks into a bowl. Not a big deal, right? But here's the catch: I wasn't hungry, not really. I just wanted something to do with my hands, or maybe I was craving a little comfort. But my body, it had already had enough for the day. So I tried something different. I made tea instead, something warm, calming and gentle on my stomach. And I'd sit down with that cup, and let it be the signal that the kitchen was closed for the night. It wasn't always easy, the habits run deep, but over time, I found that I didn't miss the snacks as much as I thought I would, and I certainly didn't miss the bloated, uncomfortable feeling that often followed. If you're still carrying snacks in your purse just in case, or keeping bowls of goodies on the counter, consider this your gentle invitation to let them go. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be present. Listen to your body. Ask it kindly, are you hungry, or are you just looking for comfort? Because there are other ways to comfort yourself. A phone call to a friend, a short walk, a few deep breaths. Snacks don't have to be the answer. Now think about how often we say yes to social outings, not because we're starving, but because we want the company, and that's beautiful. Connection is vital, but here's where the weight can sneak in without us realizing it: eating out too often. Restaurants, cafes, even your local coffee shop, all of them offer food that's made to taste incredible. But what we don't always see are the hidden ingredients: extra salt, extra sugar, hidden oils, and huge portions. I remember meeting a friend at a cafe and ordering a small cappuccino. It came with a pastry I didn't ask for, and because it was there, I ate it. Not because I was hungry, but because it was part of the routine, part of the experience. It's easy to do, and that's exactly why being intentional matters so much. When you eat at home, you know what's going in your food. You know how much butter is on the vegetables, how much sugar is in the sauce, and more than that, you get to cook with love for yourself. That's not just nutrition, that's care. And when you start seeing home-cooked meals as an act of self-care, it becomes easier to say no to the extras. When you do go out, a simple coffee can stay a simple coffee. A dinner with friends doesn't have to include appetizers, bread, dessert, and drinks. Just one well-chosen plate is more than enough. And remember, Going out isn't the problem, it's how we go out. You can still enjoy the ambience, the laughter, the conversations. Just don't let the setting override your own intentions. Eat slowly, pause between bites, listen to your body's gentle cues. All these small decisions, shopping mindfully, dressing with awareness, cutting back on mindless snacks, choosing home-cooked meals, each one is a seed, and over time they grow. They blossom into more energy, lighter steps, and a deeper sense of peace with your body. You don't need perfection to see progress. You need presence. You need kindness, especially towards yourself. And most of all, you need to believe that change is still possible, not because you're chasing a number on a scale, but because you're choosing to show up for your life in a new way. By now you've probably noticed something. None of these changes are extreme. There's no shouting, no calorie counting, no rigid plans that make you feel like you're being punished for simply aging. Instead, everything we've talked about is really about letting go, clearing space in your life for better energy, clearer choices, and a gentler relationship with your body. And speaking of clearing space, let's talk about one of the biggest culprits that hides in plain sight: your environment. Not the big wide world out there, but the little corners of your life, the pantry, the bedroom, the living room chair that knows the shape of your body a little too well. The truth is, weight loss after 60 isn't just about what you eat. It's about the space you live in every single day. When your surroundings are filled with temptation, clutter, or reminders of old routines, it's harder to stay focused on your goals. But when your environment supports your intentions, change becomes much easier. Take a look at your kitchen. Are your snacks sitting out on the counter, where you see them all day long? Are the cookie jars full? The freezer packed with treats just in case? If so, you're not failing, you're just being human. We eat what we see, and our habits often follow what's most convenient. So here's a quiet, powerful shift. Rearrange your environment. Put the sweets out of sight, or better yet, don't bring them home in the first place. Fill your fridge with colors, fresh fruit, crisp greens, things that feel alive. Keep a bowl of oranges or apples where your eye naturally lands. Swap the cookie jar for a basket of herbal tea bags or a small plate with almonds. These little nudges add up. They help guide you back to choices that support, not sabotage, your well-being. And this goes beyond food. Look at where you spend most of your time. If your favorite chair is so cozy that it swallows you whole, maybe it's time to create another little nook, a space that invites gentle movement or activity. Maybe it's a corner with a yoga mat, a small stool for stretches, or even just a sunny window that invites you to stand and sip your morning drink. Change your environment, and you'll naturally change your behavior. That brings us to the final habit, one that's so sneaky and familiar, we hardly even notice it. It's not about food, it's not about movement, it's about mindset. I'm talking about giving up the belief that it's too late to lose weight, too late to feel strong again, too late to look in the mirror and feel proud. That belief, it's not truth. It's just a thought you've been carrying around like an old coat, heavy and unnecessary. And maybe it was handed to you by society, by old diet commercials, or even by people who didn't mean any harm, but didn't know better. But here's the thing, it's your choice, whether you keep wearing it, let it go. You're not too old. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be to begin again. Every single day, you have the power to make a different choice. You can wake up and say, I choose to love my body today, not punish it. You can step outside, even for 5 minutes, and let the sun warm your face. You can take one deep breath, remind yourself you're alive, and ask, what small thing can I do for myself today? Maybe it's walking to the mailbox instead of driving. Maybe it's drinking water before your morning coffee. Maybe it's saying no to something you don't truly want, and yes to yourself. You see, The journey to losing weight after 60 is not about chasing youth. It's about reclaiming energy, reclaiming choice, reclaiming the belief that you are still powerful and still worth showing up for, and you don't have to do it alone. There's a whole world of women and men just like you, who are letting go of old habits and stepping into a new version of themselves. You are not behind, you are not broken, you're simply in a beautiful chapter of life where you get to write your own rules. So today, I invite you to make a gentle promise to yourself, not a vow to lose 20 pounds or fit into a dress from 1992, just a promise to listen, to move, to choose things that help you feel alive, because that's what it's really about. Not shrinking your body, but expanding your life. And if you found even one little idea here that sparked something in you, whether it's changing a plate, walking more often, or simply being kinder to yourself, then that's a win. That's a seed planted, and you never know what can grow from that. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What's one habit you've let go of, or plan to let go of, to support your health and well-being? Share it in the comments. You never know who might be inspired by your story. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, Strong Elderly Life. We're here to support you with real conversations, uplifting advice, and simple steps to help you thrive at any age. Remember, this isn't about perfection, it's about direction. Every small choice you make is a step toward the vibrant, strong, and joyful life you deserve. So keep going, keep choosing yourself, and most of all, keep believing that the best is yet to come. Here's to living your best life at any age. You've got this.